Installing the Amatec Prestolite Power wireless battery identification device. When installing your new wireless battery identification device, first ensure that you're working with a clean and isolated battery that's not hooked up to any charging or operational devices. It's at a stable working temperature, and that you're wearing all necessary personal protective equipment. Your WBID kit will come with the device itself, a bag of hardware, no-aux grease, zip ties, and an installation and setup manual. Start by untying the identification device and placing it onto a centrally located terminal cover. Use a utility knife to mark the outline of the device's temperature sensor, and then cut out the plastic where marked. Put the terminal cover back in place and hold the device onto the terminal while marking holes to be drilled. In total, you'll use a 3/16 drill bit to drill 7 holes. The holes that will be used to hold the device in place go completely through the terminal. The other holes are to be made between 3/8 to 1/2 inch deep to ensure the brass inserts seat properly. Begin drilling directly into the center of the most negative post and follow with the flow of the series connections to drill 3 more holes, remembering that all of these holes are only 3/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch deep. The holes that will be used to hold the device in place go completely through the terminal. Finally, drill your last hole into the positive terminal post. Place a brass insert into each hole and tap them down flush with the surface using a small hammer. Apply no-aux grease to each individual insert. Use the long screws and flat washers to attach the device. The device must sit flush onto the terminal to ensure proper heat transfer from the battery to the temperature sensor. Now begin routing the wires in an orderly fashion towards their terminal hookups. The red wire goes to positive, and 3 blue wires are bound together with heat shrink covering the ends. Be sure to leave this in place when routing the wires. This will protect them from touching a terminal and shorting out. Run these 3 blue wires and the black wire towards your connection points that start at the most negative post. The black wire attaches to the most negative post using a small screw and washer. Once you have the black in place, go ahead and remove the heat shrink from the blue wires, ensuring that they do not touch any terminals other than when you connect them. Working from the negative post, the wire connections are blue with green, blue with white, and then blue with red. The order is also detailed at the bottom of the device for quick reference. The screws will be difficult to screw into place, but all connections must be tight to allow proper current flow. Replace all terminal covers and use the zip ties to organize and keep the wires securely in place below the tops of the terminals. Lastly, connect the red wire to the most positive terminal post. When this happens, a small arc could occur, so make sure you're not in an area where batteries are charging or any flammable substances nearby. At this point, you should notice a red LED flashing slowly. This indicates a positive install, and now it's time to configure the device before it can begin logging data. Finish tidying up with zip ties and trim them off.